All right, well, welcome to the show. I have got with me this afternoon Kristen Archer, and she is a voice actress. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good. That's great. Well, before we get into just what you do and everything like that, let's just get to know you a little bit better. Are you playing any particular games right now?
uh, the only games I'm playing right now are Sims 3 and Assassin's Creed 2, and they're both on PC. Because
Okay,
all I have is PC right now, so
I see.
I don't have any consoles, unfortunately. So.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nobody's casting any judgment. It's all good. It's all good. Do you have a favorite console?
um, I like PlayStation a lot, but I love Nintendo games too. So.
Any particular game on the PlayStation that's a favorite?
Kingdom Hearts and the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
that's awesome. That's very cool. So let's get into what you do. You're a voice actress. How long have you been doing that?
3 years.
Okay. How did you get into it?
Um, well, it's kind of funny because I do most of my voice acting online because where I live isn't a good marketing for voice acting. So I got started on through fan dubbing, and then from there I just started doing more serious stuff, and it's still all online. And now I do voice acting between Voice Acting Alliance and Fiverr.com.
Oh,
And
Fiverr. Okay.
it's,
Did you say
yeah.
wh- what was it that you started on? What was it?
Fan dubbing. It's basically what you do. It's mostly on a YouTube thing, but what you do is you take like your favorite, like say anime or video game or something, and you take the footage and you put your own voice over it and you put your own acting into it, and so.
Okay. And somebody found you on there and or did it go it was at the how did you end up getting your first gig?
Um, I built up enough work. Well, while I was doing fan dubbing, I was doing a little bit of like the serious stuff on the side. So I put like the serious stuff onto my resume and I built it up and I was able to create a demo. And I put my demo on YouTube and from there I was actually got cast to be in a TV pilot for a children's show. And I was actually allowed to go to a real studio and record there, and it just kind of snowballed from there. But it's like very rarely I can go to a recording studio, but I do most of my recording at home, so yeah.
Okay. All right. What was being in the studio pretty surreal for you?
Well, the thing is, well, it kind of felt like I was at home because I'm used to recording, so I kind of had an idea. And plus, I grew up with a family of musicians who recorded a lot, so I had been in a recording studio before, so it wasn't anything new to me. But the fact that I was able to record for voice acting was really amazing because I was like actually able to record in a professional atmosphere for me, and it's like I wasn't like watching someone getting recorded, so it was different that way.
Yeah. How were your nerves going into that? Did you do all right?
I was nervous at first, but once I got going into character and everything, it was just I forgot about the nerves. So
Did it take a couple takes to get in your groove, or were you able to kind of just run with it and go?
I just ran into it because like we went over the script like 5 times anyway. So like if I even messed up and it mattered, I would just like record it and then we would just do it over. And it was like a huge script. It took 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow. So basically, I mean, you put this stuff up on YouTube. You ended up doing some more serious stuff, like you said. You put that on YouTube, kind of like as a resume or whatever, to show
Mhm.
people what you were capable of. What ha, did you just end up getting an email, or did somebody comment on that video? How did that company get in touch with you?
Oh, they emailed me because I had my email and contact information in the video description. So
Okay. Okay. All right. Did they have to fly you somewhere, or was it close enough to drive to, or what?
it was a local recording. So it's like the producer was from New Jersey, but he decided to just take his time out to come out here and then record in the studio. So I wouldn't have to fly over there. So it was kind of nice on his part.
Yeah. So is this a show that you can like talk about? Is there a place where we can see or hear what you've done?
Oh yeah, I can talk about it now. It's like it's funny because when I first got cast for it, I wasn't allowed. I had a contract that said you cannot talk about this, but I wanted to talk about it so bad. But yeah, it's called The Secret Kitchen, and the website is. I should have had this prepared.
Well, don't
That's
worry
bad
about
on
it.
my part.
It's all right.
It's called The Secret Kitchen. You can Google it. It's like secretkitchen.tv or .com or something. But you know,
That's
that
fine.
was bad on my part.
We'll put it in the show notes so people will be able to find it.
Okay.
So, okay, so you got one gig under your belt. That was like 3 years ago, right?
That was actually in 2012, so it was 2 years ago or
Oh,
something.
okay, so what happened next?
From there, I've been doing like apps and educational stuff. It's like most of my work lately has come from Fiverr, and it's like usually it's mostly people who need voices for apps or educational purposes, but sometimes I'll get big, well, what I feel like is big stuff. Like a filmmaker wanted me to voice for Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I got into an indie game, actually two indie games, and yeah, so it's like one of the indie games is called Artisan Going Home Again by Unseen Kingdom Studios, and another one is actually a trading card game, but like they implement voices into it. It's called Chaos Clash, and what's the third one? Oh, there's a third one in the works called Color, and from what I understand, I think he said I can say this. It's a studio licensed under Nintendo.
Really?
I asked him, "Can I talk about this?" He was like, "Yeah, go ahead." I was like, "Yes." But it's called that studio. If I can pronounce it right, it's called Epsilon Studios. But I'll give you the notes for that, like you said later.
Oh,
So
okay. All right.
that's
So so Fiverr sounds like it's been a really good website for you to get
mm,
basically to get you in front of potential clients, correct?
yes.
Yeah, so there may be some people that don't know what Fiverr is. Can you explain it a little bit and kind of how it's been working for you?
Okay. Well, basically, Fiverr is it's like their logo is like the world's largest online market, whatever, and basically you can go and like um what's the word I'm looking for? You can apply your talents for starting at $5, and then from there you can increase your prices, but the base is always $5, which is why it's called Fiverr. You can do voice acting, you can make graphics, logos, produce music for any company that needs your services. And so I do voice acting. There's a whole lot of voice actors that use Fiverr, and they're very talented. If anybody needs voice actors, just use Fiverr because there's a lot of talent on there. So that's what it is, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you can find any. I mean, there's all kinds of like if you need graphic design, if you need a logo. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's tons of stuff. Fiverr is an absolutely great resource, and everything starts at $5, but then you typically you add. Well, so what do you offer for $5?
Mine is $5 for 100 words, and then if they need like 200 words, then it goes up to 10, and then it's just 5, 10, 15, 20 from there. So like every 100 words is $5 add on to it.
Okay.
It's just simple.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, so how many jobs do you think it's landed you? I mean, and it can be approximate.
Oh my gosh. I've lost count. I would say, oh gosh, I think maybe over almost 100, maybe almost 100. I don't think I've gone over 100 yet, but I think I'm getting close.
Yeah, that's
So
great. Does Fiverr take a little percentage out of that $5?
they do. They take about 2% for every dollar or something, but it's like if you make $5, then they take $1. So like basically when you make $5, you're actually making 4. But like I mean, if like I said, if you can add a bunch, put add-ons to your service, you can get a lot of money from that. So
Yeah,
you
I've heard
still make a lot of money.
for sure. I've heard a lot of people will use it as just the springboard. Like, yeah, I'll do a small logo for $5, but then if you want it in a Facebook, to fit your Facebook timeline or all that different stuff, it's now it's 10, now it's 15, now it's and
Hmm.
so yeah, it can be a very very good place to make a little extra money and utilize your skills. And you said there's quite a few different voice actors on there, huh?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're not like huge famous, but I mean, they're just voice actors like me who record at home, but they're very professional about what they do, and their demos are very professional and just crystal clear mics, and just any voice actor any kind of talent that you would find on something like voice actors 123 or backstage.com or something, they're just talented.
All right. So let's just say somebody wants to get into voice acting. What are some tips or some advice that you could give uh, for starting out?
Well, first, most important thing is if you're serious and you want to be professional about it, then use a very clear microphone and get a pop filter like your setup here.
Yeah.
The pop filter, your microphone, make sure that your room is crystal clear of any sound. Make sure there's no echo. What I use is a screen, and it's like those room dividers type thing.
Yep.
I use that, and I have a blanket thrown over it,
Okay.
and because that blocks the echo, and that keeps your voice within the screen. And that's what I use. I mean, if you can find something to block any sound and block any echo, and you have a pop filter and a microphone, then you're good to go for starters. That's what I would say.
Okay. What was your motivation to start doing this? What inspired you to start voice acting?
I started voice acting. Okay, well, I've been wanting to voice act since I was a kid because I was always into anything that had to do with sound, like singing and music and voice acting. I just kind of, since I was a kid. So, but as I got older, I kind of forgot about that until I showed a fan-dub audition to my friend. I was like, man, that would be cool if I could do that. And my friend was like, you should do that. You sound like an anime character when you talk. I was like, okay, I'll try it. But I didn't get into that fan-dub because it was my very first audition. But I was hooked since then, and I just, and from that website that fan-dub audition was on, I was like doing other fan-dub auditions from that same website, and I was like starting to get into like passing the auditions more and more. And then from there, that's when I found out about Voice Acting Alliance, where there's like a gold mine of auditions. It was amazing because they have serious, like real serious projects, and the mediocre fan dubbing auditions, but it was kind of doing both, And then from there, I just like cut off fan dubbing completely and just got completely serious and just started just focusing on serious stuff. So that's why that's how I got started.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So you mentioned you were doing something with the Unseen Kingdom, right? Is that project finished for you?
Oh yes, and it's available to download to play. The open beta is available for free to play, and their website is Unseen Kingdom Studios, or is Unseen? Oh my gosh, I'm horrible. It's Unseen Kingdom.
Yeah, they were actually on the show. I had both the sisters in episode 6 of the podcast.
Oh, so you know them? Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's very cool that you got to do. What was that scope of work like?
Well, to begin with, they also found me on Fiverr.
Okay.
So that was like one of the big projects that I landed on Fiverr. I thought it was neat because when they first contacted me, they were like, "Hey, I like your demo. I think you'd be good for this game that we're making. Me and my sister are making this game." And I thought that was adorable that two sisters are working on a game together. And I was like, "Oh, cool." So it was like a little game. So I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." But I didn't know it was going to turn into a popular thing. And it's getting popular.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, wow, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The exposure's great. So, did you end up doing most of that work just at home for them?
Oh yeah, I did that. Right, my microphone right here.
Okay.
Well, I did. Yeah, I'm the leading role, the main character, Ellie. I voiced her. So.
All right. Do you know like the approximate of like did it take you a number of days to get all the work done for them?
I don't remember. I just remember being really tired when I was recording it. It probably took me, if I had stuck with it, it would have taken me a whole day, but I think I like recorded half of it a day, and then the next day I recorded the next half because I was just like really tired that week or something. I don't know, but but yeah, I mean, it wasn't like taxing, like it wasn't like a ton of words like the professional recording studio script that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't anything at that length, but yeah, so it was like easy compared to that.
So a lot of it for something like that, is it just single dialogue? Is it you just kind of like narrating, or did you do any interacting with other voice actors?
Well, I did it, but the character does interact with other characters in the game. So it's like she talks. The character like talks to other characters in the game, but I haven't. If there are other voice actors in the game, I haven't met them.
I see. So the character interaction is going to be just what takes place within the game. There wasn't like any like cinematic dialogue or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
I think so.
As far as, and what I mean is with another actor, you didn't have to record two people at once. It's just basically all on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, that's crazy. So what kind of microphone do you recommend people use? I know you said a nice clear one, but do you have any particular brands that you like?
Well, my very first microphone that I'm using now is it's called Avid or Avid, I don't know, it's AVID, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Avid M audio microphone. That's my very first voiceover microphone, and I'm actually in the process of buying a blue snowball, which I plan to get next month.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I've had this microphone for 2 years, and it's kind of starting to not do well anymore. And I've heard such really great reviews about the Snowball for voice acting, and that it lasts a long time. So I'm getting that. But since I've been voice acting for 3 years with the same microphone, I haven't had any experience with other microphones. Um,
Well,
but
that's all
I'm
right.
sure you could. Yeah, there's a page on edgestudio.com that has like a list of recommended voice-over microphone, and they range in prices from like 100 or like 50 to like $1,000. So
Sure. Yeah.
yeah.
So, is this mic plugged in USB to your computer, or do you have a little mixer that you're using?
It's USB. I would love to have like a mixer so that it's not connected to my computer, but I don't. It's USB. So.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I was just curious, just more for maybe somebody wanting to get into it, like kind of looking at the price of admission, you know. So,
Mm.
what's the snowball mic typically go for?
About 46 to 60. The one that I'm looking at on Amazon is like $46 or $49. And it's really not too expensive, but that's like one of the least expensive microphones.
Okay. What about software? You've got to be recording into some kind of software, right?
Yeah, I use Audacity. It's completely free forever. Um, it um, it works really well for someone who's getting started, or you're on a budget and you can't afford something super fancy. I mean, it does the job. I feel like even if you're a professional, you really don't need something super, unless you're required to having something super fancy to software to record with. But because Audacity gets the job done perfectly, you just have to make sure that everything is completely quiet and that your mic isn't popping, and just make sure that everything sounds good.
Sure. And what about like EQing and doing that kind of stuff? Do you mess a lot with the mastering process, or do you send that? Do you let the studios deal with that?
I let the studios edit because I don't know how to. I just record the voiceovers, and they usually, they never ask me about it, so I
Okay.
figure that they master it and mix it themselves.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I mean, basically, you just have to record the raw file, and then
Mm,
they will do all the EQing and whatnot to get it to sound how they want.
yeah.
I see. So, have you been able to watch or see anything or play anything that you've heard yourself in, and is that kind of a crazy feeling hearing your own voice in a game or hearing it on a TV show?
Yes! I have something funny to say. Like, sometimes I would, like, look over the demos that I've done even for Artists and Going Home Again. I'm like, I listen to it, and I'll listen to my voice and be like, I'll forget that it's me because it sounds so professional, so anime. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot I did that. So it's funny.
That's yeah,
Because I'm still not used to it, because, I'm just now starting to get big jobs. So I just don't know.
yeah. So you said something about maybe like a Make-A-Wish Foundation or whatever. Did that end up going through, or is that something in the works right now?
It's still in the works. I did my job. I recorded it and sent it to the filmmaker, and I asked him when it would be available for view, and he said, well, it's still being reviewed. So I guess whoever's in charge of the commercial is reviewing it, and he said once it's reviewed, then he'll show it to me, and hopefully by then I'll be able to share it. So.
Okay. All right. We're gonna backtrack a little bit too. We were talking about the recording software and whatnot. What? How do you send the files off to your clients? Is it MP3, or do you send it as just what's the best way to send it to them so they get the best product?
I usually just record and send as MP3 unless they ask me if they want WAV or something else. But if they don't mention what kind they need, my standard is MP3. And I send it depending on, like, if it's Fiverr, I'll send it through Fiverr. But if we work it out through email, then I'll just send it through email. So.
Okay. All right. And so Fiverr kind of works as the go-between. Like they are notified once you deliver the product, and then do the funds get released to you that way?
Yeah, it takes. This is kind of annoying. Once the job is done, um, and the client or the buyer, they're called buyers. The buyer marks it as complete. From then, it'll take Fiverr like 14 days to process the money. So it's like you don't get the money right away, but once that 14 days is cleared, then it'll send you to your PayPal. So it's like you have to wait a couple weeks. But I mean, it's legit. You still get paid, and it's through PayPal. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you, as you've been at this for, like you said, 3 years, has there been any like mistakes or hard lessons, just lessons learned along the way that you could share with us?
Um, I really don't have like huge, but I just remember when I first got this microphone, I was trying to learn like how to balance the volume on my microphone, and like sometimes my volume would come out like really loud, or sometimes it would be too quiet because I was trying to fix it. And like I would post like just something on YouTube, and people were like, "I can't hear you. Your voice is too soft." And I'm like, "No, it's my microphone." And then other times it was just like up way too high, and people would just have to turn it down, and I just felt bad. But I found a balance finally. So I just wish I knew that then. I wish I knew how to balance the volume then. And I guess most recently, I like sent an email to an agent because I'm looking for an agency, a talent agency. It was the email I wrote was written very professionally. I just wish I had worded it better because they didn't sign me. But I don't know if it was because my demo might have been too short and didn't have enough variety in it, or because when I first started voice acting, people were saying that 30 seconds was the best for a demo, the best length for a demo. And now people are saying 60 seconds or a minute 30 is best, but the demo I sent a couple weeks ago was about 45 seconds long. So now I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have made that demo longer for that agency. So I guess that's a mistake. So I guess I'm going to make them a little bit longer from now on. So.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's a learning experience, and you just got to keep at it, and eventually it'll work out. So how about, have you been given any advice from anybody within the community or whatever that's been very very beneficial for you that you could share with us?
Um, yes, but I can't really think of any off the top of my head right now. Oh man, there's so much that people have told me that I've learned. I don't know. Oh man, I wish I could think of something right now.
No, that's all right. What? How's the community? How does it feel? Is it a pretty welcoming community? And where do you recommend people go to get involved with different voice actors and actresses and stuff?
Oh yeah, it's a really good community. I would recommend YouTube is a good place. That's where that's one of my starts was YouTube was one of my starts for voice acting community. I made a lot of friends through this community. I would say Voice Acting Alliance is a good resource. Yeah. You could find people on Twitter. You could find the right tag, like go through the voice acting tag on Twitter, and just look for any voice acting related tags on Twitter. I mean, there's a lot. There's like VAVO is a voice acting tags, voice acting, or like indie voice acting or stuff, you know. Yeah. Oh, and Facebook. I don't know why I forgot about this. Facebook is a good place to just look for voice acting groups on Facebook.
Okay.
There's voice acting and online voice actors and actresses. I'm in that group. And there's another one I just joined, and I forget the name of it, but I just joined it a couple of days ago. I mean, if you just search voice acting on Facebook, you'll find voice acting groups, and they're very helpful. Just join them, and you'll get a lot of advice of how to get started. And the one I'm in has a lot of experience and inexperienced voice actors who are just getting started and people who know the business. So
Okay.
those are ones I'm in, yeah.
Do you have a favorite voice actor? Is there anybody that you kind of look up to or that's kind of inspiration for you?
I would say I like Quentin Flynn, Todd Haberkorn. I really don't know. And I'm embarrassed because I really don't know of very many because I don't really have access to TV right now, and I don't stream very much, so.
That's all right.
But I'm just gonna get back into that. It's embarrassing because it's like I do voice acting, but I don't know of very many voice actors. So, but I'll get into that soon.
There you go. I'll give you an assignment for the next time you
Yes.
come on. Go ahead and get a list of voice actors that inspire you. All right. No. So, I guess what would be the best piece of advice you could give somebody wanting to get into voice acting?
I would say just keep auditioning and do it in research every day and practice your craft every day. Like do a voice every day, even if it's like for a minute, just do something every day. Because I am constantly working. I'm like constantly sending emails, recording, and searching auditions and just submitting to auditions like all the time. I mean, just keep working on it and try to build up a resume and come up with a demo. If you haven't done any enough work for a decent length demo, then write your own original monologue and record that and have that as your demo.
Okay.
So.
All right. So, is it important to have certain traits? Like, should you be able to have speak in lots of different voices, like, different cartoon characters and that kind of stuff, or is it mainly just your one, your voice? Do you do much stuff like that? Like do different different characters, that kind of thing?
I mean, it helps to have a variety of voices that you're able to do, but it's really mostly about the acting, and if you have the ability to act very well with your voice, that's good enough. But it also helps a lot to be able to do other voices. I mean, and it's best to if you're approaching a brand new character that no one has ever heard of, and it's just brand spanking new, that you got cast for, then you need to make up a new voice for that. Or if they want you to do your natural voice for that, then just do your natural voice for that character. Oh my gosh, and please don't try to mimic another character that a voice actor has already done. Because that's why I quit fan dubbing, because they wanted you to sound just like a character that has already been done by another voice. Like, they wanted you to sound just like the voice actor. And I got sick of that, because I wanted to be original. I wanted to do my own take. So yeah, just whatever you do, don't approach a brand new character with a voice that's already been done. That's a huge piece of advice I would give a new voice actor. Period.
All right. What about like accents and stuff like that? Do you do much stuff like that?
Um, I'm working on several dialects of a British accent, of English accent. Um, I have a friend who's helping me with that 'cause he's from England. But so yeah, I've been able to do like a so-called posh. I know it's not a real accent now because I know better now, but I've been able to do like a quote-unquote posh accent since I was a kid. But sometimes I can do an Irish accent, but like I said, accents aren't required when voice acting, but it's just a bonus.
Can you share your Irish accent with us? Is there?
Oh my gosh, I haven't worked on my Irish accent in a long time. I don't think you want to hear it. It'd be so rusty.
All right,
No.
we'll let you off the hook this time, I guess.
Okay.
All right. Well, Kristen, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Oh, I am on Twitter at Kristen Archer VO. I am on Facebook at Kristen Archer VO. If you do Instagram, not that I use Instagram to promote my voice acting, it's just for fun, but it's Chibi Wings. And I think that's about all my socials there. So, my YouTube. Oh my gosh, my YouTube is Kristen Archer VO too. So.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and letting me interview you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, make sure to keep in touch. Maybe we'll have you back on after some of these bigger projects are all wrapped up.
Yeah, that would be cool. Thanks.
All right. Well, you have a great day.
You too.